All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring The Spirits book by Allan Kardec.
Whoa, hold on, the whole thing. That's intense.
Not quite. We're zeroing in on one chapter. Chapter X, The Law of Freedom.
Ah, okay, I see. Still a hefty topic, though, right? Freedom, fate, even touches on slavery. Pretty heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely not light reading. And the format, how Kardec gets these answers, it's kind of wild, you know?
Wait, he's asking these spirits through mediums. It's like 1850s spiritual Q&A.
Exactly. So he starts off asking, can anybody be totally free? Like no limits at all?
And what do the spirits say? Go wild, do whatever.
Surprisingly, no. They say, nope, we're all connected. Even a hermit in the desert still got to survive.
Makes sense. You're free to roam, but nature's still the boss.
Right. And the spirits, they call it something kind of funny. Folks who preach freedom but are like super controlling in their own lives. Hypocrisy.
Oh, for sure. We've all met those types. Makes you wonder, how much do our actions really match what we say we believe?
Right. It's like walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Then Kardec, he goes straight for the tough stuff. Asked about slavery. Big issue back then, obviously.
And the spirits, they don't hold back, condemn it completely. Slavery is violating God's law, treating people like animals, basically.
Strong words. Makes you think judging the past by today's standards. Tricky, huh?
For sure. The spirits, they point this out too, like, folks back then, maybe they didn't know better. Society was different.
So, like, a free pass for slave owners doesn't seem quite right.
Well, they're not saying that. More like, awareness matters. If you genuinely don't know something's wrong, are you as guilty? It's a debate even today, you know?
True. It's like following the crowd versus really thinking for yourself makes you wonder, what norms do W accept now that'll seem crazy later on?
Exactly. That's what the spirits are pushing for, I think. Use your conscience. Don't just blindly follow what everyone else does.
Right on. So about slavery, there was this idea back then. Some people are just like born to be subservient, bloodlines, all that.
Yeah, yikes. What did the spirits have to say about that? Probably not a fan.
Oh, they shut it down. It's not your blood that matters, it's your spirit. Intelligence should be used to help people, not control them.
Powerful stuff. Judging people by who they are, not where they come from.
And this leads us to something super interesting, freedom of thought. The spirits say that's the one thing we have total control over. Nobody can force us to think something.
Interesting. So like a free-for-all in our heads, no consequences.
There's a catch. Hold that thought. We'll get into it right after.
But there's a catch, right? There's got to be some kind of responsibility for what we're thinking, even if nobody can control it.
Exactly. And the spirits, they're like, oh yeah, big time responsibility. God sees all the thoughts, judges them too.
Wow. So like, think all the bad thoughts you want, but there might be consequences down the line.
Seems like it. It's like, yeah, you have the freedom, but it's not a free pass to be a jerk in your mind, you know?
Makes sense. Actions and thoughts matter. So then what about freedom of conscience? Can people, like, limit our beliefs?
Ooh, good one. A lot of debate about that even today. The spirits, they say nobody can force you to believe anything.
So no thought police. Good to know. But what about beliefs that are actually harmful? Do those get a free pass too?
Well, the spirits, they get into this. They say no barriers on what you believe, but if your actions from those beliefs hurt others, then those can be limited.
Makes sense, like freedom to think whatever, but you can't just go around hurting people because of it.
Right. They seem to be big on persuasion, like talking it out, reasoning, not forcing beliefs on people.
More civilized that way, for sure. But here's a thought. What if there are all these different doctrines out there, each one claiming they've got the truth? How do we know which one's really right?
That's a good question. It's like a spiritual buffet. How do we choose? Well, the spirits, they've got a pretty practical answer.
Let me guess. Close your eyes, spin around, and whatever you land on is the right one.
Not quite. They say, look at the results. Which beliefs make people the most loving, charitable, actually good people? That's your clue.
Makes sense. Judge it by the fruit it bears, not just what it says on the label.
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words, right?
Sweet.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Freedom in general, slavery, thoughts, beliefs. Ready for the big one.
Hit me with it. This is what we've been building up to, right? The big kahuna free will. Do we really choose our actions, or are we just puppets on a string?
$1 million question.
Yeah.
The spirits, they're pretty clear. Free will is real.
Yeah.
We're not just robots following a program.
Okay, good to know. I'm not just a meat suit being controlled by some cosmic force, but there's got to be more to it, right? What about all the other stuff that influences us, like our genes, how we were raised, all that?
Yeah. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
And the spirits, they acknowledge that. They say free will, it develops over time. Like babies, they have less of it than adults.
So little Timmy throws a tantrum. We
Mhm.
can't really blame him. He's still working on that whole free will thing.
Something like that. But it brings up an interesting point. How much responsibility do kids really have? And when does it kick in full force?
Deep stuff. And what about, like, people born with a tendency towards certain things? Addictions, anger issues, are they just doomed?
That's where it gets really interesting. The spirits, they have this saying, where there is a will, there is a way. Basically, even with those challenges, you still have the power to choose.
I like that. So it's not just giving in to whatever your nature is. There's always a choice. But gotta be tough, though, right?
Oh, for sure. They don't sugarcoat it. It's not easy to overcome those things, but it is possible. And that's where self-awareness comes in, knowing your weak points and getting help when you need it.
So it's not like a solo mission. You can lean on others, maybe some spiritual practices to help you make those tough choices.
Exactly. And that leads us to another biggie, fatalism.
Mm.
If we have all this free will, is fate even a thing? Or are we just making it up?
Okay, now we're getting into the cosmic stuff. What's the verdict from the spirits? Are we masters of our own destiny, or is it all predetermined?
Well, they have a kind of a middle ground, which is interesting. They say, before we're born, our soul kind of picks out the big challenges for this life.
Yeah.
Like the rough curriculum.
So we sign up for the course, but we don't know exactly what the tests will be. That's kind of how it works.
Yep, we pick the broad strokes, but the details, how we react to those challenges, that's where our free will comes in.
Makes sense. So it's not all just random chance or some fixed destiny. There's a plan, but we have a say in how it plays out.
Right. But then what about those people who just seem to have constant baity luck? Is that just karma from past lives catching up? Or something else?
Good question. Sometimes, yeah, it might be past choices coming back around.
Hmm.
But the spirits, they also point out that a lot of bad luck comes from the choices we make in this life. Wrong career, bad relationships, that kind of thing.
So not always blaming fate or past lives.
Yeah.
Got to own up to our current decisions, too.
Exactly. Take responsibility, learn from the mistakes, and try to make better choices next time. Not always easy, but that's part of the growth, right?
Right on. And now, to really blow your mind, what about knowing the future? Can we actually see what's coming? Do those fortune tellers actually have something?
Ooh, now that's getting to some spooky territory. What do the spirits say about that? Crystal ball gazing, tarot cards, all that jazz. Do they work?
They're a little cautious about that whole thing. Generally, they say the future's hidden for a reason. If we knew everything that was going to happen, it would kind of ruin the whole free will thing.
I can see that. No point in making choices if you already know the outcome. Like, why bother studying if you know you're going to ace the test anyway?
Exactly. And think about the emotional side. What if you knew someone you loved was going to die soon? Could you really enjoy the time you have left?
Heavy stuff. Ignorance can be bliss sometimes. But the spirits, they do say there are some exceptions. Like, sometimes knowing the future can be helpful.
So when does that veil get lifted? What are the rules for future peaking?
They say if it helps us make better choices, or if it's a test of our character, then maybe. Like, knowing a challenge is coming, it might inspire you to do the right thing, or maybe it'll tempt you to make a bad choice out of fear.
So it's not the knowledge itself, it's how we respond to it that really matters.
Exactly. Free will kicks in again. Even knowing what might happen, we still get to choose how we react, how we shape our own story.
This whole conversation has been mind-blowing. Freedom, fate, choices, it's all connected. But as we wrap up our deep dive into this law of freedom, what's the big takeaway? What are the spirits really trying to tell us?
It boils down to this: we're not just along for the ride. The spirits are saying we're not powerless. We've got this incredible gift, this free will, and we can use it to actually shape our lives.
Yeah, it's easy to feel stuck, like blame fate, blame our past, blame other people. But they're saying, nope, you've got more control than you think.
Exactly. They want us to wake up to that. Every choice we make, every action, every thought, it's all building something, shaping who we become.
It's like we're writing our own story, in a way. Maybe we don't get to pick the genre, but we get to decide what our character does, how they face the challenges.
That's a great way to put it. Fate might set the stage, but we get to improvise, make choices, react, grow. It's not all set in stone.
And that's both exciting and scary, and it's a lot of responsibility. We can't just sit back and wait for life to happen. We got to be active, make decisions, own the consequences.
Absolutely. And it takes us right back to the start, that question Kardec asked, what is true freedom? And the spirits seem to be saying, it's not about having no limits. It's about knowing you have the power to choose, to act according to what you believe in, to create a life that's meaningful to you.
This whole deep dive has been a wild ride. Free will, fate, choices, it's all connected. It makes you think, what choices will we make now, knowing what we've learned?
Right. It's like, okay, no more blaming fate. Time to step up and take responsibility. Try to be the best versions of ourselves. That's what the spirits are challenging us to do, I think.
It's a challenge I'm ready to take on. And I hope our listeners are feeling inspired too.
Hmm.
This is just the beginning, right? There's so much more to explore, so much to learn.
Exactly. It's an ongoing journey. Keep questioning, keep digging, keep choosing.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, my fellow deep divers, until next time, stay curious.